And I want to read to you from the book of Corinthians, Paul's letter, his first letter to the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and reading from verse 27 in through to in chapter 13. 1 Corinthians 12, Paul had been describing the church as the body of Christ and likening it to a human body. A human body that has many parts, hands and eyes and ears and feet and so on, and that we are the body of Christ. And as the human body has many parts, so they all belong to the body. They belong to each other. So we also, as the church, the body of Christ. I read from verse 27. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. And in the church, God has appointed, first of all, apostles, second, prophets, third, teachers, then workers of miracles, also those having gifts of healing, those able to help others, those with the gift of administration, and those speaking in different kinds of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Do all work miracles? Do all have the gift of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? But eagerly desire the greater gift. And now I will show you the most excellent way. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am only a sounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I am nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, the imperfect disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child, and when I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. Now, we see but a poor reflection as in a mirror. But then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. May God bless to our understanding that that reading from his holy word, and to his name we praise. These past 3 Sundays, when the church was opened again after this lockdown time, when we were, as it were, the church scattered, not meeting. For the past 3 Sundays, we have become the church gathered. And in our gathering, we have been considering, do we need the church? After all, we've been having some video services sent to us at home, where you can, at your own leisure and relaxed situation, even lying in bed, you can follow the service. Is that not the better way to do it? Do we really need the church? Is what we looked at. And we said, yes, we do need it. Because it's a family affair. It's a family reunion that needs to gather from time to time, once a week at least. Then the next week we looked at, do we still need the church? And we said, yes, we still do need the church because it's a place of a retreat. It's a place of renewal. It's a place where we can come away from the secular world in which we live and momentarily enter into the sacred world of God's presence, who said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So we still need the church. And then last week we looked at, do we really need the church? And we said yes, because it's a memorial service. It's a service of remembrance of Jesus Christ's death on the cross. As we celebrated Holy Communion with the words of Jesus, this do in remembrance of me. Today, I want to conclude this short series. Today, I want us to realize that we are the church. Whether it is the church scattered or the church gathered, we are the church. And as such, we are a team of many parts. In any game, in any sport, what is the winning formula? The winning formula is the team. It's the team. Yes, there may be stars in that team. Stars who would score the winning runs in the cricket, or the winning goal in soccer, or who would score the winning tries in the rugby, or whatever other sport. But it is the team as a whole that wins the trophy. We achieve more together than we can as individuals. Together, the team divides the effort and multiplies the result. That's the mathematics of a team. Divides the effort and multiplies the result. There's an incident in the life of Toscanini, the famous Italian composer, when at a rehearsal of an opera, he offered some constructive criticism to the soloist. And the soloist immediately responded, and too proud to accept this advice, she said, I am the star of this performance. To which Toscanini said and replied, Madam, in this performance there are no stars. We are a team. The team which is the orchestra and also the other actors. A team of performers. The church cannot advance with solo work. The team cannot advance with just the minister and the elders and one or two others in leading. We need each other in this church. And Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians that the church is a team. It's a body. Like the body, the human body, so is the church. The body of many parts. He likens it to a human body. And he's saying that the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. The head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. We need every part of the body, even the funny bones. And so each and every one of us is a member of the body of Christ, is a member of this darling church body. And as such, you have an important role to play and to contribute. If you take the word church, CH dash dash CH, church. Can you imagine? Can you see? CH dash dash church. What's missing? You are missing. And when you are missing, the church is less effective. And there are many of our members who are missing due to COVID, due to valid reasons. But we need each other to be effective. Rodney, our minister, was on leave. Rodney and I, and from time to time Lydia, who leads the service, Rodney and I, we teach better when you are present. The prayers offered for the sick are more powerful when you are praying as well. The Hungry Harry scheme that we have to feed the needy is more effective when you are participating. The Sunday school reaches more kids when you are bringing the kids and praying for the Sunday school teachers for their work. The praise singing in our worship services is improved when you are singing. The finances of the church are multiplied when you are contributing. And so we may go on and on and on. Every member is an important part of the church, is an important part to God and important to each other in your different shape and your role that you can play. And Paul says, are all teachers? No. Are all workers of miracles? No. Are all this and are all that? No. But desire the higher gift, the gift of love. That whatever we do in our participation needs to be done with love. I've given to you this morning an illustration, a drawing of a car, which you may take away with you. And just as Paul says, likens the church to the human body, we can, in our modern days, he didn't have cars in those days, we can liken the church to a car. Here's a drawing of a car and all of its different parts. And we perhaps need to ask ourselves, what part of this church car are you? We need some to be the headlights with a long forward look to the future. We need some to act as the steering wheel and to steer us towards the goals. What goals do we have? What goals are there in this church? And they need to be communicated to the members. Elders, what goals do we have? We need to think about it as leadership. We need wheels. Wheels of a people who would move us forward, who would drive us forward with practical ideas that work. We have some in the baggage rack at the top of the roof. They've got very good ideas, but they're hard to find. It's difficult to get it off the rack amongst all the other things. We have a need for fuel in the petrol tank that all can add to whether it is the widow's mite or the millionaire's rand. What part of the church are you? The spare wheel? We have many spare wheels. Spare wheels which are there for the ride, but are never used. Or are you the anchor that needs to be dragged along? Or are you perhaps that little thing on the front of the bonnet? Your Mercedes has that little emblem. And so there are many others that also have an emblem. It's pretty to look at, but it's useless other than trying to create an image. What part of the church car are you? The story is told of the church organist who was one day practicing a very difficult piece by Felix Mendelssohn. And there in the empty church he was practicing this, and he trying again. He was not doing too well at it. Until eventually, out of frustration, he stopped and he closed the organ. But unbeknown to him, there was a stranger that had come into the church and sat in the pew and listened to this music. And the stranger came forward and said to the organist, Can I play your organ for you? Can I try it? Nobody plays this organ except the organist, said the grumpy organist. And then eventually he rescinded and he allowed him to play. And the stranger played the same piece. He played it without fault. And he filled the church with beautiful music. So much so that the organist was astonished. At the end of it, he went up to the man and he said, "Who are you?" He said, "I am Felix Mendelssohn." The organist's pride and stubbornness had almost prevented the music's creator from playing his own music. Why am I telling you that? There are times when we try to play the notes in our lives, and we usually mess it up, don't we? Allow God, the Creator, to make musical harmony shine through you via the gifts, the talents, and the abilities that you have, which God has given to you. And when doing that, we need to do it with love. To do it out of love, true love. Not a sounding gong or a clanging cymbal that glorifies you. No. But that points to God, who is love, and desires that whatever we do should be done in love. the church and our own lives will not produce beautiful music until we allow God to work in us and through us. God's ability is not limited to our inability. And He can take your weakest ability and turn it round to His glory. So let God work in you as you need to contribute your part, however small that part may be, because you are the church, a team of many parts. And when you do this, you will find a fulfillment in your life